He just said, Sam, it's not good news. I got bad news for you. And basically, long story short, the lender's backing out. We're supposed to sign documents tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. I'm talking tomorrow at 4:30. Mobile notary's already set up. I mean, it's 7 o'clock the night before. This is God. God's doing something here. And I said, Terry, I said, I can't make this stuff up. I said, this is what my listeners want to hear. I said, this is why they're listening to real life real estate, because they want to know what could possibly go bad, what could go wrong. How do these things blow up? How do people make it or not make it? The good, the bad, the ugly. Win, lose, or draw. Here it is, right? Real life, real numbers. This is it. So I said, I'm going to hit record and I want to go through this again. And I want you to just explain to me what just happened. He hits me with this bombshell. And I was like, what are you going to do? What am I going to do? Am I going to get upset, get mad, get angry? Yesterday, I paid off about $15,000 or $20,000 worth of credit cards. And with the expectation that by Friday, I was going to have $170,000 deposited into my account. So then there's that. And reserves are dwindling.
You know all the big names in real estate. You know what they're doing now, but you don't know how they got there. Now I'll introduce you to the no-names, just like you and me. I'll walk you through real deals with real financing, real strategies, in real time. This is real life real estate.
All right, guys. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. Okay. It is December 16th, Tuesday night. Okay. 7 o'clock in the evening. Just get back from Lowe's, just getting over to the White House and doing some attic repairs there. And oh my goodness, doing some insulation, get ready to just set the materials. Get a phone call from my lender, from the mortgage loan originator. But oh my goodness, his name's Terry. I appreciate Terry just ripping off the band-aid. He just said, Sam, it's not good news. I got bad news for you. And basically, long story short, the lender's backing out. We're supposed to sign documents tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. I'm talking tomorrow at 4:30. Mobile notary's already set up. We're supposed to be signing docs. And so it's 7 o'clock the night before. And I'm just going to let you listen to the recording. So here's what happened. We went through, he calls me and he says, I've got bad news. And he just starts going into it. What do you do? What's worse of all is that just yesterday, I paid off about $15,000 or $20,000 worth of credit cards. And with the expectation that by Friday, I was going to have $170,000 deposited into my account. So then there's that. And reserves are dwindling, right? We're getting low, figuratively speaking. But it's just not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling that I was supposed to have $170,000 deposited into my bank account this Friday. And now we're back to square one. Ultimately, what ended up happening is that he said, what do you want to do? I said, do you have another lender? Because as a real estate investor, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, this is what we do, right? When we get lemons, we all know what we do. We make lemonade, right? Or Tom Collins. Those are pretty good too. But anyways, yeah. So that's where I'm at. I said, do you have another lender? He said, yeah. Already reached out to a couple more, started getting two more going just for a backup plan, blah, blah, blah. And the bottom line is he says, I said, what's the time frame we're looking at here? Because the biggest push for me to get this done is that I have two credit cards that are business credit cards, and they are 0% interest. And so they are due this month. They had a 1 year 0% interest, and I had everything lined up so that this cash out refinance would happen. I'd pay off those credit cards and never pay a cent in interest, which is how this all makes a lot of sense. But now, so last night I was just thinking to myself, I said, you know what? I said, let's just say something happens and something doesn't quite go right. Why don't I just go ahead and pay down those balances? And that way I don't get hit with a ton of interest, just in case something doesn't go right. So in a way, this is kind of like a blessing that I paid that stuff off. And then on the other hand, I'm kind of like, Well, it's just a little scary that I just paid off 20 grand only because I thought I had another 170 coming in, so I didn't think it was going to be an issue. So that's where we're at right now. I'm going to let you guys listen to the recording. Basically, he hits me with this bombshell, and I just I was like, what are you going to do? What am I going to do? Am I going to get upset, get mad, get angry? What good does that do? Wouldn't do me a lick of good. Wouldn't help me, wouldn't help him. Wasn't his fault. And I'm going to let you listen into the conversation so that you can see exactly whose fault it is and what happened here. Because this is real life real estate. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I started this show. It's not necessarily for the faint of heart. It's if you don't have the stomach for this, this may not be the arena for you. So be careful, be prudent, exercise extreme caution, have reserves. I just dropped an email to my accountant earlier today confirming that I was going to be paying my kids' payroll tomorrow because I was planning on having $87,000 dropped in my account tomorrow, another 87,000 dropped in by Friday. So this changes everything. What do I do? Right? After that phone call with my lender, I was going to jump back on the phone with the accountant and let him know, you know what, plans have changed. And instead, I went to a shower and thought about it, prayed about it. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to have to fund our business account from our personal account and make payroll because that's what you do when you're a business owner. Sometimes you got to owner contribution and you got to make ends meet and you got to make payroll. You got to fix it. I got to keep the reserves that I have in my business account there. They got to stay where they are. And I still have to come up with payroll. So I went ahead and made a transfer tonight, and I'm gonna go through and finish taking care of that. But all of this stuff just changed, blink of an eye. Wasn't expecting it tonight at 7 o'clock at night. The furthest thing from my mind was having this lender back out in the 11th hour. I mean, wow, what a shock. But again, we pivot, right? Adapt and overcome, that old saying. We don't panic. We don't freak out. We don't get angry and blow up at people. We take the bull by the horns and we praise God through it all. And you know, it's funny. I told Terry, I said, you know what? I said, what's funny is that after he's let me know basically all the bad news, then I said, well, who else can we reach out to? Can we still get this done? He said, yes, I've already spoken to two of the lenders. They quoted him a 15-day turnaround on this because they're going to make it high priority, etc. However, he's wise enough that he told me, he said, Sam, he's like, I, I say that so that because just to quote them, but so you know, I highly doubt that they're going to be anywhere close to 15 days. He said, we're looking at the end of the first week of January, just to be realistic. I mean, this is holiday season. His people are taking their paid time off. Other people are going to be taking their paid time off. It's reality. This is real life. This is what it is to be a real estate investor, right? This is how it goes. And when you're trying to get deals done at the end of the year, things, this whole transaction has been interesting to say the least. But you know what? We're making it happen, Lord willing. We're going to make it happen. And that's what I told him. And he said, you know what, Sam? He said, funny thing is, I asked him what the rate would be. And I won't even tell you what they said. He said, it sounds too good to be true. And I said, there you go. I said, there's the silver lining. That's what I was waiting for because that is God. I said, this is going to be a silver lining. I go, that's it right there, man. I go, it's a blessing in disguise. That's what this is. I could have blown up at him. I could have gotten angry. I could have lost my temper. I could have done a billion things and handled this completely wrong. But when I heard him say that, I just knew. I'm like, there it is. That's the silver lining. That's God's blessing in disguise. I said, what was my previous rate? What were we at? He said, we were at 8.25, 7.99 at best. And he said, I'm not going to tell you what these people quoted you because he just doesn't think he thinks it's too good to be true. So he's not going to say it. But you know what? That's how God has always worked in my life. It's always seemed to be too good to be true. But the reality is God is just that good. So all glory to God, praise him. And we're going to see where this ends up. And I'm expecting a victory, man. I'm expecting that we are going to come out the end of the year, first week of January. We're going to get more favorable. It's already more favorable. For one, yeah, I may end up paying some interest on this, on these two credit cards. We're going to see. I don't know. I got to reread the fine print. I'm not sure if it's deferred interest or if it's just no interest, right? Big difference. If it's no interest, I should be good to go. If it's no interest, then starting January, they should start accumulating for interest. Hopefully, it's no interest, not deferred interest. But either way, I did pay down the balances significantly. So we'll see. We'll see. But that, again, being the case, is that we're talking about already, because when he said the rate sounded too good to be true, I said, and we're just now supposed to be crossing the finish line, but evidently we're not. All right. So that's all I got for right now. I'm going to go ahead and insert this audio. You can listen to it. I do apologize for the poor audio. Again, we were literally just doing some prep work, setting up to add some insulation into the attic over at the White House. So you hear some movement, heavy stuff being moved around in the background. Then I finally muted it. But man, wow, what a shocking turn of events the night before we were supposed to close. Just crazy. Makes sense, right? I was actually thinking to myself, man, I kind of wish I would have waited a little bit because rates have been coming down. And he goes, yeah. He goes, absolutely. He goes, so that's why he's kind of thinking like this might be, it just sounds a little too good to be true. So we're going to see. Tomorrow, he reached back out to that other lender and he's getting the information. He already pushed the appraisal through to them, which is what the concern has been throughout this whole thing. It's been the appraisal, which doesn't make any sense to me because the appraisals are solid. They're solid. We had we had the appraisals done twice over, each for each property, and we have solid comps and many sales in that same neighborhood, literally across the street from our property. So the money's there, the comps are there, everything's good to go. And you're going to find out why this lender backed out in a moment. You're going to hear this recording. And so just to preface this a little bit, when Terry called me, like I said, I could have gotten upset and everything else, but I just started to chuckle. And I just started to chuckle because I'm like, you know what? This is God. God's doing something here. And I said, Terry, I said, I can't make this stuff up. I said, this is what my listeners want to hear. I said, this is why they're listening to real life real estate, because they want to know what could possibly go bad, what could go wrong. How do these things blow up? How do people make it or not make it? The good, the bad, the ugly. Win, lose, or draw. Here it is, right? Real life, real numbers. This is it. So I said, I'm going to hit record and I want to go through this again. And I want you to just explain to me what just happened. So thankfully he agreed, probably feels like it's the least he could do for me right now, even though this wasn't his fault. So I appreciate, again, he called me, ripped off the bandage and just told me what it was. And it is what it is. This thing should have been done with his company. It should have been done 2 weeks ago. December 5th was the date we agreed on. Obviously, it's just been one issue after another with the appraisal. Clerical errors, not the comps. There was concern about the comps, so they did another comp. I'm sorry, they did another appraisal, and that came back fine. So the values are there. Then it just turned into clerical errors, little things where the appraiser put in the wrong legal description, right? But we had that corrected. No big deal. Just took a little time. But all these days just kept adding up and pushing us back, pushing us back. So here we are almost 2 weeks after when we were supposed to have closed.
Okay, so Terry, what is going on? Why are we not closing tomorrow like we were supposed to close tomorrow? What happened?
So all the appraisal stuff, for the most part, we thought we were done with, specifically at 105, 107. We were told we're done with. And while we're waiting on a clear to close for our scheduled closing for tomorrow, my account executive said, hey, we have a challenge with both properties, both appraisal values. Let me do my thing on my end, and I'm going to get back to you in the morning. Said, no problem. We talked at around 11 o'clock today. Property number one, or both properties, they're capping the value from $420,000 down to $325,000, which limits our loan amount to 75%, which would actually be lower, but they authorize a $265 loan amount. It's like an 81% loan to value. only gets you about $35,000, which is way less than the deal was, way less than what it's worth for you on this deal.
So we were originally at 420, right? That was our original ARV.
That original value 420, and your loan with that was at about 315.
Yep.
And so, yeah, what's the actual cash difference there?
We were looking to pull out
You're,
about 86,000 or 87,000.
yeah, so you're going to get at around that number. And now it's only 33,000, right? A dramatic difference. If you want to do that, we could do that, but I already know you're not going to do that. Additionally, second property, they're claiming that both properties are a huge risk, which is why they lowered the value. A second property, they said they're not going to do a cash out on it. Too much risk. This is the verbiage I'm getting. And they'll only do a rate and term, which you wouldn't do the rate and term because you already have a better interest rate on that property. So I basically told them I'm going to lose the client. I want to know why this is coming up now. I'm not really going to argue with you guys or get mad with you guys right now because you're telling me I can't do anything about it. Like pretty much is what your investors on your end, it's a private loan, portfolio loan. So your investors on your end are saying this is what you guys are capping the value at. Long story short, they got a new CEO. I don't know if this new appraisal process happened after the new CEO or before the new CEO, but there was a recent deal from what my account executive was telling me, a recent deal where they took, I don't know if it was a $2 million value on the home or a $2 million mortgage. They took basically like around a $2 million loss for a fraudulent loan. I don't know if it was a fraudulent appraisal, a fraudulent value, or whether the house was like in an as-is status on the appraisal, but it really wasn't. They didn't give me the details, but it made their whole appraisal process more strict, and we're experiencing the bad side of that. So I even told them, I said, can I order a new appraisal? Instead of this transferred appraisal, could I order a new appraisal, pay for them on behalf of the borrower, and get this done? And they said no. So there's something else I think that they're seeing on the property and or on the appraiser. In my mind, that's what it is, because they're not really giving me in my mind, it doesn't make sense why the value would get cut so much, or they're just being that much more conservative on their DSCR cash outs because of their recent problem they ran into on losing $1 million or $2 million on another deal that appeared to be a fraudulent appraisal. So that's that part of things.
Yeah. So at this point, I've been pushing the time on this because I've got a couple of credit cards that are at 0% interest. They're coming due here in December. And so I need to look the fine print and see if I'm going to end up having to pay all that interest for the year that's been, I'm not sure if it was deferred or whatever, but that's the reason I've been pushing this time limit. And so now at this point, I don't know, I'm almost really considering to sell the property, one of them or two of them, just to basically cover all this debt. And that's what's crazy. We're at 420,000 and we have plenty of comps. I mean, even one that is exactly like it, a current like condition, wear and tear, all that stuff. Just sold for 400,000 probably about 4 months ago now. So we have the comps. It's for them to come back at 320 or was it 325? Like that's
325.
That's crazy. I don't get that. But so what are we talking about? You have other companies that other lenders that we can get this pushed.
I already vetted 3 other lenders that'll do this scenario: DSCR, cash out, the amount you're looking for as far as loan to value goes, and doing it in a business entity rather than your personal name.
Yeah.
One of them has a local office here, local to us, and I'm going to try them first. I might submit to 2 of them just to have a backup plan at the same time. So if one doesn't work out, at least the other one will. That being said, lender number 1, the one has a local office local to where we're at, I've already sent them the scenario, sent them the appraisal so they can start looking at it. And Sandra is going to start working on your deals tomorrow personally. You get them packaged out, get them e-signed so we can submit them, and
so how much time,
save as much time as possible.
Well, how much time are we looking at? What are they telling you for a turnaround on this?
The lender I want to take it to said 15 days, but I'm personally not buying that, even if they're confident, just because of where. If it was the beginning of the month, I would. But we're about to be approaching Christmas and New Year's. If I had to put a time on it, I'm going to say the week of the 5th or the 9th, the first business week of the year.
Wow. Okay. So today is Tuesday, December 16th. You've already been in contact with their appraisal team. What was their response on it? How do they feel about it?
Nothing yet. I just sent it to them to say, hey, guys, take a look at it. Just tell me if this is something you guys will actually do or not.
Okay. You think they'll get back to you tomorrow to see if they'll even touch it?
The guys that could have already gave me pricing, I think I'll have an answer. Regardless of whether I have the answer tomorrow, if you give me the go-ahead, Sandra's going to be working on both your deals tomorrow to get them in. so we can start saving time. Yeah. And I'll have the answer for them tomorrow, what they think on the appraisals.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's move forward and let's see where this goes. Let's see where this this roller coaster takes us. This is crazy, man. This is what real life real estate investing is like right here. It's pretty wild. You said it yourself. You said this is like the worst one you've heard of this year, right?
It's the worst change of expectations that I've ran into all year. Worst challenge. There's challenges. We get around them, they get done. There might be a change, but it's minimal. Usually our changes are for the better, or hey, it's just we need these few more documents to delay closing by a couple of days or a week. Okay. But this is we already went through that on this deal, right? This is hey, we're clear to close, get ready for closing. And the loan amount was changing by what is that, $80,000 or whatever the number was. It's too much, you know.
Yeah.
It's the biggest backfire that I've seen all year.
Yeah. All right, Terry.
I normally would say if it's my fault or someone in my company, I'll take up all the responsibility. All I can say is I'm sorry that you're going through this, and if there was something that we could have done to prevent it, we would have. But this isn't. Right. It's not even something where like we made a mistake. You know,
yeah,
you didn't make a mistake. It's just a challenge.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to still work on it, right? Where there's a will, there's a way. I'm willing to still work on it if the lender accepts. So here's what you could tell me. Do you want me to go at it with them with the transferring those original appraisals, or do you want me to order brand new appraisals?
Well, let's definitely stick with the appraisals. I don't think there's anything wrong with the appraisals. The appraisals are solid. We've had so many sales there recently, and those prices are all justifiable. So I think the appraiser did fine. I don't think, he had little clerical errors here and there, but we got all those fixed up, no big deal. But I think the appraisals are rock solid. The comps are there. And so I would have never
the lender mentioned they just stopped doing business in, I want to say he said Pennsylvania, because that's where that one loan happened that I told you about.
Sure.
And then he mentioned that there's something like this happening in Florida where there's like high inflated values.
Okay.
But again, we're in Georgia,
right,
as far as what these are, and they didn't really give me any more information,
Wow.
So
Wow. That's crazy. We were supposed to close. We were supposed to sign docs tomorrow. That's crazy. All right. I'm going to drop a note to the notary because he's a friend. And so I want to make sure he knows that it's off for tomorrow. I don't know if title filled him in yet, but dang. Well, I appreciate the call.
I replied to the title company saying it's not happening tomorrow. We're going to have to I'll update everyone in the morning about what we're doing.
Okay. I mean, it's 7:30 at night, so I appreciate the call. It is what it is, right? But okay. Well, let's move forward. Let's keep going with this other lender and let's see what happens.
You will hear from the rate. I'm not going to tell you the rate yet. What my account executive quoted me. It seems too good to be true.
I was going to say, I know rates have been dropping. This could only be maybe a blessing in disguise. Who knows?
Well, for sure, the rates that are tied to your type of loan and a private loan, non-QM loan, did drop by 0.25% in general just last week, right?
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, I am expecting a better deal, but the rates you just showed me seems too good to be true. So let me vet it with them, make sure they price it right.
Sure.
And I'll update you on the estimated rates on both properties. And regardless, you'll hear from Sandra tomorrow. She'll start working on getting these in disclosed to you so you can e-sign. You know the whole deal? The e-sign, the small package we have, get it all out, and we'll get it hopefully submitted, if not tomorrow, by Friday, and just start making up as much time as we can.
And for the record, what was my rate previously? What were we were around?
We're trying to get 7.99 on both, but bottom line of the original quote of 8.25. If it was going to close, they're going to be 8.25 on both.
Okay. All right. So just more praise, man. That's what it's going to come down to. I think this is going to work out. It's going to be a blessing in disguise, and we're going to figure this out, and it's going to be an even better deal than I could have hoped for. Longer term to get it all done, but sometimes that's how it goes when you're an investor, entrepreneur, right? You know this, Terry.
I'm with you.
Yeah, you know. All right, bro. I appreciate and thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it. Is what it is. So thanks for giving me the update.
Thank you for playing ball. I appreciate it.
All right, bro. We'll talk to you later.
All right. You too. Bye.
All right, guys. So I just finished listening to the whole recording and this episode. Just kind of wanted to skim through it a little bit, edit a little bit. Boy, wow. Still kind of coming down from the excitement of it all. But I need to get to bed. It's 9:45. I got an early shift tomorrow morning. But man, what an incredible turn of events that just took place over the last couple hours. Interesting. But that is real life real estate. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. And if you're getting anything out of it, please send me a comment. You can reach me on Instagram, Real Life Real Estate Podcaster. And that's pretty much going to do it for me tonight. Yeah. Also, again, don't forget, if you are looking for a great career, air traffic control,
you can check out batc.gov, I think is what it is. And it's B as in to become, it's BE, and then the letters ATC as in air traffic control, and I think it's .gov. If it's not .gov, it'll probably be .org, maybe .com. So batc.org, .com, .gov, one of those. Try those out. And great career. Get started if you want to launch your real estate endeavors and or just a great career in general, especially if you're into aviation, even better. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. God bless.